Have you ever noticed that your intelligence makes people uncomfortable? That people look at you differently, feel stirred, or even a little threatened when you simply speak what you see? That's not arrogance. It's perception. It's clarity. It's something that can't be taught. It's carried. And those who carry it know. They're not here by accident. You're the kind of person who sees what no one else sees, who connects dots others ignore, who understands what wasn't said. That's rare. And yes, that's why sometimes you feel out of place. The people around you can't keep up, not because you're trying too hard, but because you operate on a different frequency. If you've made it this far, that's not coincidence. It's confirmation. A part of you has always known you were different, not better, but prepared, refined by pain, shaped by reality. You survived situations that would have destroyed others, and instead of collapsing, your mind became sharper, more aware, more dangerous to those who live in lies. That's why the world feels your presence, even when you try to hide. Your way of thinking exposes contradictions. Your vision breaks illusions. Your perception brings silence. A genius isn't someone who memorized everything. A genius is someone who survived and can still see further. And if that describes you, this video is for you. Stay with us until the end. Every part of this content was made for those who carry something that can't be explained, only felt. If you identified with this, if this message called out to you, it's because it belongs to you. So subscribe to the channel right now. This is just the beginning, and you won't want to miss what comes next. You didn't learn to be this way. You were forged. The intelligence you carry today is a direct result of everything you've survived. While others were trained in safety, you were trained in storms. And that made you someone who thinks differently, feels differently, responds differently. You don't repeat, you create. People try to understand where your mind comes from, but they can't. Because your wisdom isn't found in books. It's written in the invisible scars you carry. You didn't learn through classes. You learned through falls. And even when you fell, you always got up more lucid. Your mind was trained through survival. That's why it's unbreakable. While many break under criticism, rejection, or loss, you transformed all of it into fuel. The pain that was meant to paralyze you ended up sharpening your perception. Your intelligence is a direct reflection of your ability to turn trauma into a tool. You became an expert at reading people, situations, and dangers even before they reveal themselves. That kind of mind scares people, because it's not obvious. It doesn't need a stage. It doesn't shout. It simply observes, analyzes, and acts with precision. People feel that. They know there's something different about you. They can't explain it, but they feel it. And often it bothers them, because you don't fit in. You stand out. From an early age, you noticed you had a different way of thinking. You questioned everything. You doubted ready-made explanations. You felt that what others called normal was far too limited. And over time, you began to realize you could see what no one else could. Your mind connects things that others don't even notice. You don't think in a straight line. While many memorize, you deconstruct. While others repeat, you reformulate. Your way of thinking isn't just quick. It's deep. It goes beyond. You don't accept superficial answers. You dig until you find the root. And that's why, in any environment, you soon stand out. Even without trying. Even while trying to hide. Your silence unsettles. Your questions expose. Your way of observing makes others feel read. You're not trying to offend anyone. But the truth you carry is so strong that, just by being present, many already feel challenged. Because you're a mirror. And wherever you show up, the truth shows up too. It's common for people close to you to have called you complicated, intense, or even cold. But what they didn't know is that this different side of you is just a layer of protection. Because in reality, you feel everything. And you feel first. You feel deeply. Your intelligence is tied to sensitivity, and that's extremely rare. You carry codes that were written in pain, and that's why when you speak, they aren't just words. It's energy. It's presence. It's truth. You awaken memory in others. You stir what was asleep. And that moves people. It transforms them. It unsettles those who live asleep and don't want to awaken. That's why so many tried to silence you, saying you talk too much, think too much, complicate too much. But what they were really saying was, you pull me out of my comfort zone. And yes, you do. Because your intelligence isn't neutral. It confronts. It clarifies. It breaks internal walls. And that never goes unnoticed. Your gift wasn't borrowed. It was built. And as much as the world tries to make you fit, it never will. Because you weren't created to hide. You were trained to awaken. And every time you think with courage, speak with truth, or act with clarity, the world around you changes. That is a gift. And it's only the beginning. One thing needs to be clear. It's not that you think too much. It's that you think differently. Your mind operates on another frequency. You pick up details that go unnoticed. You connect ideas that no one else would ever link. And you perceive the intention behind the words. That's not excess. That's another level of mental functioning. People who live on autopilot feel uncomfortable around you because your brain doesn't follow the same paths as others. It questions, compares, predicts. You don't accept everything you hear. You analyze, you chew, you test. Your intelligence comes with lucidity, and lucidity, in a world addicted to lies, becomes a threat. That's why they try to discredit you. They say you complicate things, that you see what isn't there, but you know, you feel, and you're almost always right, because your mind isn't limited to what's visible. It's connected to what vibrates, to what pulses, to what lies behind the curtain. You anticipate situations. You read between the lines. You sense what's about to happen. That has saved you many times, but it's also distanced you from many people. Because those who can't see what you see would rather believe you're wrong than admit they're blind. Your vision scares them because it's too real. Your mind works at a speed few can keep up with. You perceive 3 layers, while others are still understanding the first. And that gives you an advantage, but also a kind of loneliness. Because the deeper you are, the harder it becomes to find someone who can truly meet you with honesty and truth. But don't be fooled. You're not alone. There are others like you. People who also feel out of place, not because they're broken, but because they're awake. This video is a meeting point, a reminder. Your frequency is real, your gift is necessary, and your impact is inevitable. You've never needed to make a lot of noise to be noticed. Your presence already changes the environment. Just by entering a room, you stir up the energy, and those who live on the surface feel that. That's why they avoid you, criticize you, or try to adjust you. But what they really want is for you to lower your frequency to fit into their limited vision. Don't fall for that. Your brain is not a flaw. It's a code. It's spiritual technology. You didn't come here to fit in. You came to see what no one sees, to say what no one says, and to create what no one else has the courage to dream of. That doesn't make you strange. It makes you necessary. Stop trying to explain everything all the time. Those who are meant to understand will feel it, and those who aren't. It's not your mission to convince them. You didn't come to be understood. You came to impact. And impact isn't always comfortable, but it always transforms. When they doubt your vision, remember, many revolutionary minds were called crazy before they were recognized. And even if they never recognize you, your truth will keep echoing. Because frequency doesn't need validation. Frequency just needs to be maintained. Keep vibrating in yours. The world needs it. You don't need a stage. You don't need to shout, assert yourself, or convince anyone. Your presence already speaks for itself. Just by walking into a place, you shift the atmosphere. People feel it, even if they can't explain it. It's not about appearance, it's about frequency. You vibrate in a different truth, and that changes everything. Your intelligence isn't loud, it's precise. It's the kind that observes in silence, grasps the whole, notices the detail. You understand before others finish explaining. While many are still trying to figure out what's happening, you've already understood the why, the purpose, and how to act. And that kind of mind never goes unnoticed. Some admire you in silence. Others reject you without knowing why. But deep down, everyone notices. It's impossible not to feel when you're present. Your energy alters the dynamics of a room. The way you listen, the way you speak, the way you position yourself. It's different. It's not just intelligence, it's consciousness. And that's rare. That's why so many try to test you, provoke you, or minimize you. Because they sense they can't control you. Most people operate seeking acceptance, but you operate seeking truth. And those who live by appearances feel deeply uncomfortable around those who vibrate authenticity. Your intelligence unmasks effortlessly, and that scares those who aren't ready. It's not that you try to expose others, it's that your clarity by itself already illuminates what was being hidden. You speak simple truths, but ones no one else had the courage to say. You point out the obvious that everyone was avoiding. And that, in a world of collective denial, makes you a threat. It's common for people to try to silence you, to say that you complicate too much, that you overanalyze, that you should be lighter. But you know, what they call complication is simply depth. And what they call lightness is often just avoidance. You weren't born to live on the surface. Your soul demands depth. And yes, sometimes that's lonely. Because while many are worried about what to wear, post, or look like, you're concerned with what's happening behind the curtain. Your gaze sees beyond. Your reasoning doesn't settle for ready-made answers. You seek meaning, truth, purpose. That's why, when you speak, the impact is direct. Sometimes a single phrase from you is enough to flip a switch in someone's mind. You have the gift of simplifying the complex, of naming what others only felt. And that gift transforms. Even when it's not understood right away, it stays. It plants a seed. You didn't come to convince. You came to remind people of the truth they've forgotten, to remind them that there's something greater than distraction, haste, and ego. Your intelligence isn't ordinary because your mission isn't either. And everything about you points to that. Your way of thinking is a calling. When people walk away from you without an apparent reason, understand. It's not personal. It's vibrational. Your light confronts. Your gaze reveals. Your words awaken. And those who live in denial feel all of that as a threat. But the ones who are ready, they will listen. They will recognize, and they will change. You are here for them. You don't just think fast. You think with purpose. Your mind doesn't just identify the problem. It already visualizes solutions. While others freeze at the first obstacle, you see possibilities. That's not coincidence. It's internal structure. Your intelligence was shaped to create order, where there was only confusion. And that changes lives. When everyone else panics, you take a deep breath. When chaos takes over, you analyze, observe, connect. Your calm doesn't come from coldness. It comes from perception. You've faced so much that you understand the pattern of chaos. You know everything has a logic, even when it looks like disorder. And your mind has the power to find that logic. Your intelligence goes beyond what can be taught. You create mental systems that other people can't even imagine. Your way of organizing ideas, feelings, strategies, and actions is unique. And that's why, so often, you come to solutions before everyone else. Because your mind has already traveled the paths before they even existed. That's why they come to you when everything falls apart. Because they know, even if they don't say it, that you see what they can't see. That you understand what hasn't even been spoken. That you feel the truth behind the mess. Your clarity, in the middle of chaos, is the lighthouse many seek without realizing it. And that's not always valued right away. Because when everything's fine, your intelligence looks like too much. But when everything breaks down, you're the one who knows what to do. It's happened more than once. And every time it does, your mind grows stronger. Because it doesn't rely on ideal conditions. It operates in reality. Your ability to create order out of pain, out of mess, out of failure. That's what makes you so rare. You don't wait for the environment to be favorable. You transform the environment. Your presence reorganizes. Your words bring structure. Your vision draws paths where everyone else only saw walls. And that is a gift. It's a mission. That's why many try to copy you. But they can't sustain it. Because your intelligence isn't a formula. It's essence. It was shaped in fire, not in books. You don't just repeat strategies. You create your own. And even when others try to imitate you, the result will never be the same. Because your impact comes from truth. Your clarity has roots. It was born from watching the world collapse more than once. From losing, rising, understanding. From seeing what no one else wanted to look at. From not running from the problem, but facing it to the end. And that's why you can teach what you know without sounding theoretical. You've lived it. You know. And now, every time you use your mind to organize, to heal, to guide, you are activating the real purpose of your gift. You don't think this way by accident. You think this way because you were chosen to be a bridge, to help those who are lost find clarity, to remind them that even in chaos, there is always a way out. You have an uncomfortable ability to show what others prefer to hide. Your intelligence doesn't just understand what is said. It deciphers what is unsaid, hidden, avoided. You listen between the words. You observe beyond gestures. And without realizing it, you begin to reveal truths that many pretend don't exist. That's why you make people uncomfortable, even without meaning to. You say what others don't have the courage to say. And not because you want to provoke, but because your mind refuses to live on the surface. It seeks what's real. And what's real is often frightening. Because it unmasks, because it forces change, because it demands truth. In environments where lies have been normalized, your presence is like a mirror. It shows cracks, inconsistencies, manipulations. You don't need to accuse anyone. The mere fact that you exist with lucidity already exposes what is misaligned. And of course, that unsettles those who built their image on masks. Many times they try to paint you as rebellious, excessive, or too sensitive. But you know, that reaction comes from fear. Fear that you'll dig deeper. Fear that your intelligence will see too much. Fear that what has been hidden for so long will finally come to light. And usually it does. You've noticed this in relationships, in groups, at work. The moment you get close, truths start to surface. And that is not a flaw, it's a gift. A gift that breaks cycles of lies, manipulation, and ignorance. But for that, you also pay a price. Not everyone wants you to stay around. The system prefers you distracted, silent, and compliant. Because while you observe, think, connect, perceive, it loses control. Your questions open doors that were locked. Your vision reveals what was disguised. your intelligence liberates. And those who depend on the mental imprisonment of others cannot stand someone who thinks for themselves. But understand, your role is not to please. It's to illuminate. You're not here to be accepted by everyone. You're here to be a sign for a few. And those few will recognize the value of what you bring. It may take time. But once they understand, you'll see it was worth every silence, every distance, every rejection. You translate the invisible into words. There are things no one can explain, but you can feel them. And more than feel, you can put them into words. Your intelligence has the gift of making the invisible understandable. What was floating in the air, without form, without name, you go there and translate it, clearly, directly, in a way anyone can understand. And that's not common. Many people feel but don't know what they're feeling. Others may even perceive but don't know how to express it. Not you. You go deep, capture the essence, organize what seemed confusing, and deliver it simply, as if your mind were a bridge between the hidden and the conscious. That's why your words have such impact. They are not just beautiful phrases. They have energy. They carry revelation. They name what was hidden. They confirm what someone needed to hear. And they activate processes that were stuck. Because you speak from the right place, from the connection between mind, spirit, and truth. You've probably experienced this, saying something apparently simple and watching someone's reaction change completely. It's as if your words touched a forgotten place inside the person. And they did. Because when you express yourself with truth, you awaken. You awaken memories, awareness, feelings, decisions. You've spent your life feeling different, thinking differently, seeing the world with other eyes. While many conform, you question. While the majority follows, you reflect. And maybe you once believed that was a problem, that you were the complicated one, the difficult one. But the truth is the opposite. That has always been your gift. Your mind wasn't made to fit. It was made to expand. Your vision wasn't created to follow patterns. It was shaped to break them. Your intelligence didn't come from repetition. It came from pain, from experience, from overcoming. While others were trained to obey, you were refined to awaken. And that's why you unsettle people. You are living proof that genius doesn't depend on a diploma or approval. It's born from struggle, from silence, from trauma, from observation, from deep feeling. You are dangerous to systems that live off mediocrity, because you are lucid, because you don't buy into lies, because you see what many don't even know exists. And yes, that's frightening. It scares those who hide. It scares those who live by appearances. It scares those who feed off others' ignorance. But you didn't come to please. You came to awaken. Your gift is the necessary discomfort that precedes healing. It's the cut that opens so that cleansing can happen. It's the question that challenges so that truth can emerge. Maybe you've thought about giving up, about staying quiet, about pretending to fit in. But that would be a betrayal of everything that makes you special. You can no longer shrink yourself to fit. Because your mind wasn't made for a box. It was made to open doors. Doors of consciousness, of freedom, of truth. And the world needs that. Yes, they will still reject you, misinterpret you, ridicule you. But they will also seek you out. They will listen. They will heal through what you reveal. Because even if they can't explain it, they feel that your presence carries something rare. A kind of truth that isn't read in books. A kind of lucidity that can't be bought. It's earned. You're part of a silent group, scattered across the world, that carries the same vibration, the same codes, the same mission. Chosen ones who have awakened to themselves. Who decided to stop hiding. Who began to transform pain into wisdom. intuition into strategy, and silence into impact. You are not alone. You are among those who came to change everything. And that change doesn't happen through shouting. It happens by living with integrity. It happens by saying what needs to be said, even while trembling. It happens by creating solutions where there was once only chaos. You have all of that. It's already within you. Your path now is to accept it, own it, and move forward, even if it unsettles, even if it hurts. Because your calling is greater than your fear. When you understand what you carry, life changes. You stop sabotaging yourself. Stop trying to fit in. Stop asking for permission to shine. You begin to live with truth. And those who live with truth may be rejected at first, but in time they become a reference. They become light. They become a path for others. So don't run from what makes you rare. Don't abandon what makes you intense. Don't hide what makes you disruptive. Embrace your mind as the temple it is. Embrace your voice as the instrument that transforms. Embrace your vision as the compass so many are looking for. You were born for this, and the time has come. If this message spoke to you, subscribe to the channel right now. This is your place, your spiritual home, your foundation of strength. Comment what you felt. Share it with those who need to remember their own power. And remember, you are not alone. You're just surrounded by many who are still asleep.